When you think of a giant panda, the first image that comes to mind is a fluffy black and white bear sitting peacefully in a bamboo forest, munching on stalks of green bamboo for hours on end. They look gentle, calm, and completely harmless, nothing like the fierce predators that belong to the same bear family as polar bears, grizzlies, and black bears. For decades, people have been fascinated by this beloved animal, but few truly understand the most extraordinary secret of the giant panda. It is, by every biological definition, a carnivore that has chosen to live as a herbivore. This is not a small change in diet. It is one of the most dramatic evolutionary shifts in the history of mammals, a story written over millions of years, shaped by climate change, genetic mutation, and the fight for survival. Today, we are going to dive deep into the untold truth of why giant pandas abandoned meat and dedicated their entire lives to eating bamboo, a plant that offers almost no nutritional value and requires them to eat for up to 14 hours every single day. To understand the panda's strange diet, we must travel back 8 million years to a time when the first ancestors of modern giant pandas roamed the ancient forests of China. These early pandas, known as Ailuroctos, were nothing like the bamboo-eating bears we know today. They were small, agile predators with sharp teeth, strong jaws, and a digestive system built to break down meat just like other carnivorous bears. Fossil evidence shows that these ancient pandas hunted small mammals, birds, and even reptiles, thriving in the warm, wet forests that covered much of southern China during the Miocene epoch. Their bodies were designed for a life of hunting, with powerful muscles for chasing prey and teeth perfect for tearing flesh. For millions of years, this carnivorous lifestyle worked perfectly, and the panda's ancestors flourished across their natural habitat. But then, the world began to change, and nothing would ever be the same for these ancient bears. The first major shift came during the late Miocene and early Pliocene epochs, when dramatic climate change swept across Asia. Global temperatures dropped, and the lush tropical forests that had once been home to the panda's ancestors began to shrink. The dense woodlands that supported a wide variety of prey animals slowly turned into cooler, drier landscapes, and many of the small mammals and birds that the ancient pandas hunted began to disappear. Food became scarce, and the carnivorous diet that had sustained their species for millions of years was no longer reliable. At the same time, a new plant began to spread across these changing landscapes: bamboo. Bamboo is a fast-growing, hardy grass that can survive in cold, high-altitude environments where other plants cannot thrive. It grew in thick, endless forests across central and southern China, creating a nearly unlimited food source that no other large animal was eating. For the struggling panda ancestors, bamboo was not just the backup food, it was a lifeline. But switching from meat to bamboo was not as simple as choosing a new snack. Bamboo is one of the least nutritious foods a mammal can eat. It is made up of almost 90% fiber, with very little protein, fat, or sugar, the nutrients that animals need to grow, move, and stay healthy. For a carnivore with a digestive system built for meat eating, bamboo was a massive challenge. The panda, stomach, and intestines are still structured like a meat eater's. They have a short, simple digestive tract that cannot break down tough plant fiber, unlike cows, deer, or other herbivores that have multiple stomachs and long intestines to process plants. This means that pandas can only absorb about 17% of the nutrients from the bamboo. They eat a shockingly low number compared to other herbivores. To survive, pandas had to adapt in ways no other bear has ever done, and their bodies slowly changed over millions of years to fit their new bamboo-focused life. One of the most critical adaptations was a genetic mutation that changed the panda's sense of taste forever. All carnivores, including lions, tigers, and other bears, have a specific gene called TAS1R1 that allows them to taste the umami flavor of meat, the rich, savory taste that makes protein-rich food appealing. Around 2.4 million years ago, this gene mutated and stopped working in giant pandas. They lost the ability to taste meat, and suddenly, flesh no longer tasted good or satisfying to them. This genetic change was not an accident. It was an evolutionary advantage. By losing their taste for meat, pandas had no desire to hunt or scavenge for prey, even when it was available. Instead, they focused entirely on bamboo, the food source that was always there, even when other food was gone. This mutation locked them into their herbivorous lifestyle, turning a temporary survival choice into a permanent evolutionary path. As pandas became more dependent on bamboo, their bodies continued to change, to make eating this tough grass easier. Their skulls grew larger and stronger, with powerful jaw muscles that can crush bamboo stalks up to 2 inches thick. Their teeth evolved too. Their molars became flat, broad, and ridged, perfect for grinding down fibrous bamboo instead of tearing meat. But the most amazing adaptation is the panda's sixth finger, a special wrist bone that sticks out like a thumb. This false thumb is not a real finger, but an enlarged sesamoid bone that lets pandas grip bamboo stalks tightly, just like a human holding a pencil. This small, unique feature is what makes it possible for pandas to pluck, hold, and eat bamboo efficiently, a skill no other bear possesses. Without this false thumb, pandas could not survive on their bamboo diet, a perfect example of how evolution shapes every part of an animal's body to fit its environment. Even with these physical changes, living on bamboo is still an enormous struggle for pandas. Because they get so little energy from their food, they have to conserve every calorie they consume. This is why pandas move so slowly and sleep for up to 10 hours a day. They simply cannot afford to waste energy on running, climbing, or hunting, like other bears. They lead a slow, quiet life, spending almost all their waking hours eating bamboo to get enough nutrients to stay alive. An adult panda eats between 26 and 84 pounds of bamboo every single day, depending on the type of bamboo and the season. They eat every part of the plant, the leaves, stalks, shoots, and roots, choosing the most tender parts when they can find them. In spring, when bamboo shoots are fresh and full of moisture, pandas will eat almost nothing but shoots, which are easier to digest and have more nutrients than mature stalks. This extreme dietary specialization has made pandas one of the most unique animals on Earth, but it has also made them incredibly vulnerable. Bamboo forests are fragile habitats that require specific climate conditions to grow, and as human activity expands across China, these forests have been destroyed, fragmented, and reduced in size. For thousands of years, pandas lived in peace in their bamboo homes, but in the 20th century, their population dropped to dangerous levels, making them one of the world's most endangered species. Conservation efforts have helped pandas recover in recent decades, with their status changing from endangered to vulnerable in 2016, but they still face threats from habitat loss, climate change, and the limited availability of bamboo. What makes this even more remarkable is that pandas have survived for millions of years by sticking to their unusual diet, a choice that once saved their species from extinction, but now requires constant protection to keep them safe. The story of the giant panda's shift from carnivore to herbivore is more than just a fascinating animal fact. It is a powerful lesson about evolution and survival. It shows us that animals do not choose their diets based on preference alone. They adapt to the world around them, making radical changes to stay alive when their environment changes. The giant panda is a living fossil, a creature that carries the marks of its carnivorous past in every cell of its body, yet lives a life completely different from its bear relatives. It is a reminder that nature is full of surprises, and that even the most gentle, seemingly simple animals have incredible untold stories hidden in their DNA. Every time we see a giant panda eating bamboo in a zoo or a nature documentary, we are witnessing the result of 8 million years of evolution, a journey from fierce predator to gentle bamboo lover. This transformation is one of the greatest mysteries of the animal kingdom, a story of survival, adaptation, and the quiet power of nature. The giant panda did not become a herbivore because it wanted to. It became a herbivore because it had to, and in doing so, it became one of the most beloved and iconic animals in the entire world. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel